All right, let's welcome in now Texas Congressman Jodey Arrington. He is a member of the House Ways and Means Committee to talk more about this and the debate last night. Congressman Arrington, great to see you again.
John, good to be with you.
All right, so let's start with this. I want to ask you about D&I Radcliffe. I'm sure you know him very well, a former colleague of yours from the House. And, you know, this was somebody who was talked about for a long time as a future star of the party. But we also saw even some Senate Republicans trying to undercut John Ratcliffe when he was nominated for this post. But is this part of the effort to discredit him? Because some of the people refer to this report about Hillary Clinton as dubious.
John Ratcliffe is a straight arrow. This guy has been a prosecutor, been in law enforcement, has a stellar reputation, and he was well respected and universally respected as a member of Congress. He's the right guy to be in that post, and he's the kind of guy that if there's information that's being requested that he believes is relevant and if it needs to be disclosed to the public because of its relevance, he's going to do the right thing, and he'll take the slings and arrows of being accused of making politics part of his decision. But I know John Ratcliffe personally, and again, immense integrity. I think John Ratcliffe was doing what the American people need him to do, and that's shine light on this massive abuse of power that spans beyond just James Comey. We now know that President Obama was involved and many others, and so we have to ask the question, how could one allow this scam to be perpetrated, not just on President Trump, but with the time, the distraction, the money, the damage done to the presidency? How could we allow this to happen? I think he's got to get to the bottom of it, and he's just doing his part.
Speaking of getting to the bottom of things, the chairman, or the ranking member, I should say, of the House Ways and Means Committee, Kevin Brady, has called for an investigation into this leak of Trump's tax returns. I know we weren't supposed to talk about this, but I just thought I would bring it up since you're on the committee. Do you support ranking member Brady's call for this investigation?
Absolutely. John, there is nothing beyond what the Democrats will do to weaponize the United States Congress, our oversight, our powers, the Constitution with respect to the first partisan impeachment, and now the tax code. And by the way, if they can use and abuse the tax code against this president, they can do it against any citizen of the United States of America. This is yet another way that the Democrats are trying to win at all cost, even if it destroys the fabric of our ability to govern this great nation. I support him 100%. We have to get to the bottom of this too and hold those accountable who leaked that information.
Fair enough. Let's talk about the debate last night. Obviously a lot of people not happy with the way things went. I'm sure you felt like President Trump scored some points last night. But, people are using this as an excuse to cancel the next two debates. Mika Brzezinski, for example, she penned an op-ed this morning saying cancel the next two debates. Politico Playbook went with this headline as well. Do we have to do that two more times? We've heard these calls before, people trying to diminish the importance of these debates. Congressman, do you think we're going to see the next two debates?
I sure hope so. I guess I join the chorus of people that wasn't satisfied with the debates in one major respect. There needs to be a clear distinction between the two candidates, their agenda, their vision for the future of this country. I don't think we've ever had such a stark contrast, John, in the history of the presidency. You've got one that wants to basically empower we the government versus we the people. You've got socialism versus freedom, the agenda, the radical agenda of the left that, by the way, Biden has signed off to. He raised his hand during the primary election process. He's trying to distance himself now, but we know who's going to be running the show if he were to be president. That all has to be made clear. So we have to turn down the noise, lean into the substance of the agenda and the record of this president. Unprecedented success economically from a national security perspective. What he's done with ISIS and fair trade and reducing illegal crossings with respect to border security. The list goes on of things that plenty of politicians have promised over the years. None have been able to deliver like this president. He should stand firm and confidently on that record and on his agenda. And if he does, I think that overwhelmingly the swing voters, and not to mention his supporters, will cast that vote for another 4 years of the Trump administration.
We're talking now with Texas Congressman Jodey Arrington. Congressman, you know, when we look at what really President Trump needs to accomplish in the next two debates, you mentioned a number of important issues there. I don't feel like, you know, I'm with you. I don't think we were satisfied last night on getting to the bottom of those issues. What do you want him to focus on most in the next debate?
Well, I think first I would say let Vice President Biden continue to talk, because when you change your position so many times as a 47-year career politician, he's bound to contradict himself. And I think we saw that last night. I mean, he claimed to not endorse the Green New Deal. Everybody woke up this morning and went on his website. In fact, he did endorse it. So I think strategically, Joe Biden's going to be his worst enemy if he can just finish, his statements. And then this president, I would focus on his economic success. I would focus on the historic job creation and growth pre-COVID. I would focus on the ISIS that we never talk about, the fact that they have just been completely annihilated, and nobody's talking about the peace deals first in 25 years or more for Israel and Arab nations.
Issue right there, Congressman, that's a forward-looking issue, and that's, I think, what a lot of people want to hear more about, too. What can we expect in the next 4 years from President Trump? Not just what happened, what are the accomplishments, but what can we build on and what can we expect more of? Let's hope we hear more of that. Great to see you, as always, Congressman. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, John.
Texas Congressman Jodey Arrington joining us today. All right, debate moderator Chris Wallace.